Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be adding some refrigerant to the AC unit in the car. It has a defective valve. The valve was leaking the refrigerant, so I've changed the valve already. So basically I'm just going to add some 134A refrigerant to the unit. I'm not gonna add any oil or anything of that sort. And we have the red, which is the high pressure side, and the blue, which is the low pressure side. In this case, what we have here was just a valve change. I changed the valve right here. So I didn't catch the refrigerant. I extract it and then decide to why not just do it fresh, because it was cold, but I guess it could have been colder. And guys, the manifold gauge hose connection, the red and the blue, they cannot be mixed up because one is much bigger than the other. The high side is much bigger than the low side, so it won't be confusing. So I'm gonna start the vehicle, turn the air conditioning to its, I would say, low point. Alright, so it's on. So at this point in time we have no air conditioning running, just the blow motor. So I'm gonna go back outside now and then start the charging process. So we're gonna turn on and then turn on. So at this point I'm looking at the manifold gauge and I wanted to maintain that 30 psi, so I can see where it comes down and maintain that 30 psi. So the amount of gas pressure that is inside, I want it to stay right there because that is where it was in the initial stages and it was doing pretty well. Check inside now. Yes. So we're still on 1 and I can feel that nice cool. Yeah, it is way much better now. So apparently the refrigerant was having a slight leak through the valve. The air conditioner wasn't gone totally. It wasn't totally gone, but I could feel that there was a slight difference, especially when I'm in heavy traffic and I'm not moving. But when I'm moving, it feels alright. But driving the vehicle for so long, I could tell when there's a difference in most of the things that I come across, and this was one of them. So I checked it. I realized that the valve was the problem. It was having a slight leak. So I bought the valve a few, I would say probably two almost 3 weeks now, but I finally get the time to say, alright, let me just change it now and recharge it over. Yeah, it's way much better. Before if I was throttling like this stationary, it may sometime, just for like a couple seconds, you could feel that there was no air conditioning coming, then it would just come back in. And also under heavy pressure, if I should be going say approximately 100 or 120, you will feel it more sometimes. So definitely no throttling, not feeling it, I can tell that the problem is solved. I didn't change anything inside, I didn't mess with anything else. It's just the valve I take out, and I decide I could trap the gas that was in it before, but I said it would still need some topping up. So I said, okay, just change it in its entirety, because I could buy the one in the can that to top it up, but I said I don't want to do that. I would just prefer to go fresh, because I didn't remember to tell you this also. I also vacuumed the line. So I said I'm not sure if any contamination would be in it, and I would strongly suggest that if you vacuum the line and you don't have to use back that refrigerant, I want to use it back, because sometimes contamination can get into the air conditioning line. After about 15 minutes, you can see it is still maintaining that 30 psi, and that is good. Let me check this inlet pipe, see if it's still cold. Yes, it is really super cold, and my fan speed is going at a moderate speed, in which it should. I have no problem there, maintaining its speed. So the condenser at the front here will be properly cooled. Let me check the drain pipe underneath. I'm not sure. I can see we have some dripping here that is coming from that dripping is coming from the drain pipe from the evaporator box. So we know that the evaporator box is clogged. At this point in time, we're still maintaining that 30 psi, so we could just go right ahead and just close off the gauge. We just checking them, make sure they are properly closed, both sides. And the high pressure side is having a slight leak whenever you plug it on to the car, but I'm suspecting it is that little green O-ring down in there. Probably it needs to be changed. I've never changed it before, so I will just get that later on and change it to prevent that reoccurrence of the leaking whenever it is being attached to the vehicle. And guys, as I indicated before, this blue one here, this is what we consider to be the charge line. This is where the refrigerant goes into the unit, right? And then the red one would be the high side, where we take the high pressure. So on the manifold gauge, we have the blue and the red. They cannot be mixed up. So most persons will say, oh, you know which one to go, which one. The blue will always go to the blue, the red will always go to the red, and then the yellow one would be from whatever source you would be getting your gas from. So it is nothing hard to do. It didn't take me any mighty long time. The only time you might have little difficulties if you're going to change a compressor, a dryer, or something of that nature. That will take up time, but for a simple repair like this wouldn't take up much time. So let us check inside and see. Yeah, it's pretty cool. very, very, very cool. You can feel it. Alright, let's... I can feel it. Very, very cool. Alright guys, still cooling nicely. Basically that is it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so whenever I post new content you will be notified. And thanks again for all the new subscribers that I've received. Much love and appreciation for that. I've received a numerous amount of subscribers for the last week, and I felt good. I felt good seeing it. Alright guys, basically that's it. I'm still having cool air coming in at just at 1. I would suspect if I turn it up more it would get more intensified, but if it is cooling stationary at 1, I shouldn't have any problem with the other rest of the support. Thanks for everything. See you in the next video.